Hey YouTube, welcome to my lit Friday night ASMR party that is not lit as a dad joke. Just kind of messing around on Friday because I am home. I don't feel like going anywhere tonight. I had kind of a long week, and by kind of I mean very extremely long. I had a club meeting for an organization that I belong to on Monday night. Tuesday I had a networking event for a local business organization that I'm part of. Wednesday night I always play trivia with a bunch of people, which is fun, but it's taxing, I guess, mentally. And then Thursday I had a fundraiser to go to, and it was like over 3 hours long, so I ended up just doing something every night this week, and then during the day working. So instead of, going out and doing a thing, I was really just in the mood to stay in. What I originally was going to do, just for myself, was I have one of these coloring books. This one's called Elegant Escapes. I think I got it for my birthday a couple years ago, and I was kind of just thinking I would color. I know that it's kind of a popular ASMR thing to do because it's very relaxing and the coloring is very nice. So I thought about doing that, and then I thought that might be cool to do a video. I don't really know if I can do it like this though, because I'd have to point the camera down, otherwise I'm kind of coloring like this. But maybe at the end I'll do that, like I'll finish up with some coloring. I don't know. But this book is really cool because it's super thick, like the pages are really thick. I don't even know if you can hear it or not. It says it's from the artist at Hallmark. So apparently that's what they're doing now, is making coloring books instead of $6 cards. And it says 80 unique pages for coloring for grown-ups. I just want you to know that it's, you're not that lame if you have a coloring book. It says Crayola presents the perfect artiscapes for adults, soothing nature, finely detailed designs. And then they tell you again that it's from the artists at Hallmark. So they have some of the designs in the back. The only problem that I have with these things, because I love them, is that a lot of times they're like something like this. It's just so detailed and so ornate that I almost just don't even want to start it, which is frustrating because it's like all the little tiny spaces and whatnot. I'm like, I just don't ever really want to, oh, hi, there's someone watching. Hello, someone. I actually had done a YouTube live video about, oh god, it must be like a year at this point, and I was doing it on the computer, not on the phone. This one's through my phone, and it was super easy. The last time I did it through my computer, and I had to get this like third-party app, some kind of like screen recorder or something to push through, and people were saying that they either couldn't really see me or they were asking questions and I wasn't able to see the chat. So this is cool because there's, like it says that I can do fancy things. Like apparently I can do bubbles. So there's bubbles. How cool. Can I pop them? No, that would be too much technology for good old YouTube. But yeah, so there's some fun random stuff. Oh, now I'm in a dream apparently. Oh, that's really cool. So anyway, now I'm just being weird. But thanks for the thumbs up for the weird stuff. But yeah, so if anybody actually wants to like send a chat this time or say something or ask me a question, I think I can actually answer, because there's a chat thing that says chat options show live chat messages, and I assume that if somebody does send something I can answer it back, but maybe that's wishful thinking, I don't know. Maybe it's just me thinking that YouTube is like progressive these days. But anyway, so I thought about doing some coloring. I still might, but I haven't decided yet. But I have a couple books that I was gonna go through, and the other thing, and now I can't get this thing off my screen, which is really annoying. Some of this stuff is creepy. So I assume that everyone recently has watched like a lot of Maria Gentle Whisperings, like moon videos and stuff, like her crystal thing. And I don't get too into that stuff, but I do have some like jewelry and stuff, and so I haven't really had the best time with my business lately. So more, I guess, along the lines of like pure curiosity, I guess, I kind of had decided to do one of those. So I have this, I'm not gonna hold it up too much because this gets a reflection, but I have this like heart mirror that I had gotten from an event that I had gone to like a year ago. And so that's kind of like my base. And then I have some like gem jewelry, like bracelets. So it's kind of like my I don't know what you call it, like I'm using them in place of the actual stones. So I have these. So there's this red one, and then there's this like brownish one, and this white like marble looking one. I don't wear them a lot, but I can. And so this one, I actually got the packages out because I forgot what they were, and so I got I hope they're crinkly, which is pretty cool, but they're not like, they might be a little loud, so I won't get too into it. But these are the packages. I got them, I believe I got them on Etsy, because I love Etsy so much and I spend way too much money on there. But each bracelet came in here. So it says the white one is Howlite, which is this one. We're do it live. We got the Howlite, and then this one is I'm gonna butcher it. Red agate, depending on how Spanish you want to pronounce it. I think it's agate. And that's this one, and then this brown one is smoky quartz. So what I've been doing, oh, and then I also have, those are the ones that are actual bracelets to wear, and they're always really cold. Well, I guess they're supposed to be. So those are And where did it go? Now I'm losing stuff. So that one is, those are the actual bracelets. This one is really cool. It's, I don't know if you can tell, but it's really sparkly. Like it's actually glittery. And this one is, I believe it's a sandstone. So, what I've been doing is I have my like intention list or whatever you want to call it that I write on a piece of paper, and then I have the base and I put it on my dresser, and then I've just been sort of like arranging them however I feel like it, because that's just what you do, I guess. So I just kind of like put that on there and this on here, and I honestly I'll have to get back to you on if it does anything. I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people that are really into it. Actually, about maybe okay. Anyway, about maybe 2 weeks ago, there was a gem and mineral show in my town, and I thought about going, but I ended up being really busy, just because I wanted to see all the different ones that everybody keeps talking about. I think this is probably the closest thing that I have to anything, and it's not even real. It's like a manufactured in a lab kind of thing. So I don't know if anybody has any recommendations, but hopefully no one's saying anything. Is there any way that like somebody could say something in the chat so I could know if there's, because like I said, this is the first time I'm doing it on my phone. So I have a chat thing on the bottom where it says chat viewing options, show live chat messages, and it's on. But I don't know if it's supposed to like scroll across the screen, or if I can type back, or if it's just you ask questions and then I talk. Oh, hi Uncle Eddie. Yes, thank you. I just wanted to see what it looked like. So yeah, so if anybody has any questions or anything, like, I go for it. This is live, but it's like I said in my title, it's a party going on right now, which is for those of us that don't feel like going anywhere on Friday night because it's been a long week. So I got my stupid bracelets that are apparently magic, and I'm sure will do nothing. But I also have, I hope I don't make anybody mad with this, but I was saying that I love Etsy, the site with like paper products and cards and stuff like that. And I recently got myself this, which is a card for the Toronto Maple Leafs, which are my favorite hockey team. And this is the weirdest. It's like I live in New Jersey. My favorite hockey team is the Toronto Maple Leafs. I bought the cards from like Korea. So it's kind of like a weird 6 degrees of separation thing. But I got this one in particular, and it's got like hopefully it's not too loud, but it's got kind of a cool sticky sound to it. This like sticky strip. And the person I got it from, because it was on Etsy and they can include notes and everything, they sent me a note, like a written letter, saying that they couldn't believe that they were sending a Maple Leafs card to New Jersey, and they weren't sure if I liked the Blue Jays too, but they sent me like a free card that says, "Let's go Blue Jays." Not the world's biggest Blue Jays fan, but I don't hate them. Everyone around me likes the Phillies, and that's it's not gonna happen. So I really just wanted the Toronto Maple Leafs card, and I should have thought, because it was coming from Korea, that it was gonna take like 3 weeks to get here. And in the while I was waiting for it to come in, they lost in the playoffs, so they were out. So I'll just have to hold on to it for next year or next season when give to some of my fellow Maple Leaf fans. I'm trying to think of what else. So they sound really cool, and they're in like the plastic wrap that's fun to mess with. I don't want to mess it up too much though. I don't know if anybody else goes on Etsy or not, but there's literally, you can find anything on there, like any kind of like greeting card or weird reference or like funny joke or whatever, you can find anything. With the hockey theme, like I said, this is like the most random video that's ever happened in the history of ASMR videos, but I'd gotten a funny book for a friend for their birthday, and they accidentally left it in my house, so now I am the proud foster parent of the mullet, which is hilarious, and it is, I got it just because it's kind of like a funny thing that's coming back right now, but also because of Jaromir Jagr, because I'm a major hockey fan. He is featured in this book many times. It's actually a little bit more serious than I thought it was going to be. It actually has like a whole history of the mullet, and then it has like different kinds, so it's got like, they have different names and stuff, but there's some movie references, and apparently like all the mullets that were in movies, and some like solid 80s hair. I mean, I don't know who some of these people are, but some of them have mullets and mustaches, so that's pretty legit. I hope I don't have to keep this. Oh, look, it's Billy Ray Cyrus. That's some 90s right there. So like, it was supposed to be a joke, and then they thought it was hilarious, and then now it's still in my house. So there's that. Really, I just read it for Jagr. There's a lot of I just literally opened it up to another place, and there's another Billy Ray Cyrus. So apparently he's the poster child for mullets everywhere. I really wish I even knew who some of these people are. But I don't. Oh, there he is. Tell me that's not the best mullet that's ever mulleted. Anyway, that's some more random nonsense. If anybody has ever watched any of my other videos, occasionally I'll do like book reviews and stuff like that. Like I love to read, and I'm a big fan of like those sort of, I think it's lame, like I think when people call like the self-help thing, I don't like that. I think it's kind of lame. I think like the new terminology is like personal development, which I think is a little bit classier and nicer. But I got a couple new books. I've been going on Amazon and getting the used books, because you can really get them for like a couple dollars, and I have Amazon Prime, so it's like the shipping's free, and I kind of feel like I'm ripping people off, but I also don't have, I mean, we're already a nation without borders. You know, the Borders bookstore, I don't know if they're anywhere else, but they're not around here anymore. And I feel like this book that I have, it says that it's $26 in the US, and I think I paid like $4 for it on Amazon, and they have the different categories where it'll be like used or like new or acceptable people or whatever, and I've picked all different categories before, and they all are fine. The only thing I don't like is when they have a whole bunch of highlights in them, because then I feel like I can't really read it, or it's not the same thing that I would have highlighted, but that's a different story. So, but this is, like, I have two here that I've been, right now, I don't know about everyone else, but we used to have Borders, now it's Books A Million, and everybody calls it BAM, because that's what they have on their sign. It's literally in the same exact location that the Borders used to be in, and I think that they bought the store in its entirety, like the same shelves, the same everything, and they have a like a coffee place like Borders used to have, but it's not as good. And I mean, I have to say, I used to go to Borders like to read there. I didn't really buy a lot of stuff. They had the like the comfortable chairs and stuff, and I would just go read while I was there and then go home. I very rarely bought anything, because I always thought that it was crazy that a book would be like $30, and still to this day I buy them for $4. But the two that I have been, it's been taking me a while to get through them. I actually bought a couple of other smaller ones, like much thinner ones, but I gave them away as gifts, because I tend to do that a lot. If I have a book that I love, I'll take pictures of some parts that I really like, and then I'll give them to people who I think could use them. But this is my latest kind of read. It's called The Charge, and it's by Brendan Burchard, who I've seen him before on like Facebook videos and stuff like that, and I didn't know I knew he did like coaching and stuff, like life coaching, but I didn't really realize he was an author. The thing that I like about this book in particular is that pretty much the entire introduction and first chapter of the book goes through some things that had happened to him that were really, really awful, and it basically, like, if you see him now, he's basically like a bazillionaire, and he he's like super successful and coaches all these like really rich people and everything, but he had this like awful ATV accident, and he was like paralyzed and all this kind of crazy stuff, and then like a month later his dad died, and it was all this like really awful stuff, and he was saying that even him at the level that he was at, he couldn't maintain, I guess, his like optimism and everything, and he kind of sunk down, and he talked about how he got back to where he was using a lot of these different like tips and tricks and whatnot. And it says that it's the other thing too is, you know how they have those things in the back where they have like the different like reviews and stuff, and the people that gave this book reviews are some legitimately big time people, like the guy who wrote The Alchemist, and the guy who is the publisher of Success Magazine, which, I mean, so they're not nobodies, let's put it that way. So this one is really good, but it's taken me forever to get through it. I guess it's not technical, but I'm trying to pay attention to it, and it's difficult. The other one that I got was a recommendation from the Tim Ferriss podcast. I don't know if anybody here is a podcast listener, but I always like recommendations, and that one's called Super Better, and it's basically about the story of a person who she got a concussion, like a super bad concussion, and she was a game designer. I don't know if it was like video games or computer games, but she designed games, and she used the techniques of game design to give herself like a series of tasks and like achievements that she had to do every day, and she used that tactic to recover from the concussion. And ever since she did that, she's been using it to do things for people of all different, like people that are in chemo, or people that are just generally, I guess, just having issues, maybe even like depression or something like that. So it says that she turned her recovery process into a resilience building game. Today, nearly 500,000 people have played her game to get stronger, happier, and healthier. It's actually a game called Super Better, and I believe it's an app. I don't know if it's free or not because I haven't checked yet, but I know it's called Super Better. And it says that she reveals a decade's worth of scientific research into the ways all games change how we respond to stress, challenge, and pain, and that we can cultivate new powers of resilience in everyday life by adopting this mindset. I do actually like games. I grew up playing computer games and video games. Not anything serious. Like, I played Sega and like Mario Kart, and not like serious like first person. I played GoldenEye, so but I think it's cool. I think the concept's cool anyway. Of using these sort of like hacky, like brain hack types of things to get better, especially when it comes to like cognitive things or different, like when she had the concussion. I mean, I'm surprised she could even think straight enough to come up with these ideas. She said she was like super suicidal and stuff like that. So this book is, I haven't started it yet. I just know what it's about because I listened to the podcast where she was a guest. And the Tim Ferriss podcast is long form interviews. So they're anything from like 1 to 3 hours long. So she basically explained a lot of this pretty intensively. And then I was interested enough to, buy it for $4 on Amazon. The only thing about this book is I don't really know whose idea it was to make it like 2 font. So this is what it looks like. And I have pretty decent eyes, but damn. So, I mean, I will read it, but I'm gonna get through some of the other ones first. I have a ton of books. I just keep buying more of them because I love them. And they're relaxing, but they're, you can learn something, and people can relate to you, and it's just, I think it's good. I may eventually possibly write one, about, a lot of the stuff that happened to me in 2013, and, I just, I was that person that they talk about in the books a lot, where I couldn't care less about anything. I didn't really want to get out of bed, and now I'm, running my business and happy for the most part, and reading books about how to continue that feeling, and hopefully it does continue because it's not easy to maintain sometimes. But I don't really know if anybody wants me to do like sound stuff. I mean, here's the thing. I know that ASMR videos, like ramble things, are like, it's like a common thing, but I'm live and I don't have a lot to do. So if anybody wants to like hear anything, like the bracelet thing or paper, or ask me a question, or I mean, I'll do whatever. I don't have anywhere to be or any rushing to do. I know that you can make comments because people were doing it earlier. There were a couple different people that had comments popping up. So if anybody has a question or wants to hear something specific, or if I'm being too loud or too quiet or whatever, I mean, or if anybody, so somebody asked, when did I first discover ASMR? I don't remember like the exact time, but I think it's kind of pretty common to what a lot of other people have said in their videos where they talk about it, which is I was very young, like a little kid, and when we all used to do different things like playing house or like putting makeup on each other, obviously I didn't really know what it was at the time, but like if, and I mean maybe it's different for guys, but for girls you do a lot of those like playing teacher or playing house or brushing each other's hair, or like just trying on makeup and stuff like that. And that was always something that I remembered, from, especially with the, like I think I had a couple friends that had chalkboards, like fake chalkboards or whatever, and I would always try to like get them to do some kind of game or something, and I always was that person who would want to do the whole like hair makeup thing because it just felt really nice. I didn't actually discover what it really was until about maybe 4 years ago, which I think was kind of around the time when my channel was started. I think was like 2014 or so, and I think that's also very similar to what other people have talked about, in that I had gone through a really super stressful time. In 2013 I died, obviously not permanently, but I had a really super bad medical emergency, and it was like a 7-8 month recovery, and I was super mega PTSD, stressed out, and I was looking for something to like calm down, I guess, like to chill out and like de-stress. And I went on YouTube and typed in like, I forget what I even typed in, I guess just like stress relief videos or meditation or something like that. And I found a couple of, I remember specifically there was this one woman, her name was Lita, Lita, and she did these like massage, like virtual massage videos, and her voice was like super great. And then I started sort of discovering that people did these types of relaxation videos, and then when they started describing the tingly thing and like the role playing and hair brushing and everything like that, then I was like, oh, that's what that is, because I always felt it and I always knew, like that feeling in the back of your head. I didn't know it had a name, or that it was like, I didn't even necessarily know that not everybody could feel it, that it was like kind of a rare-ish sort of thing. One thing that I've always thought was very interesting is, and I don't know, I think there's been some like low-key studies done on it, but I also have misophonia or misophonia, depending on how you want to pronounce it, which is like a selective sound disorder, literally translated to hatred of sounds. So I get very like irritated, agitated when people make certain sounds, like different like chewing sounds or hiccuping or like sniffling, like if people have a cold. I can't handle it, and it's not, it's also very uncommon. I always wondered if they were like related somehow, like the wiring or something was similar. I'm not really sure, but both of them I've experienced since I was probably like maybe 4 or 5 years old, or maybe maybe before and I just don't remember. But I've always had like an aversion to certain sounds, and I've always had the ASMR. I'm a little disappointed though, as an adult I don't get it very often and maybe it's just because people aren't as deliberate or like soft or something, but like I've gotten my makeup done for people's weddings and stuff like that, and I always just was like woohoo, like because you don't get to do that very often as an adult, and it just, nothing really happened. I always thought that was strange. Or actually, just a couple days ago, one of my clients, which is like a natural store, like a natural health store, they needed somebody to come in and be like the model for these skincare products that they have, and they asked me if I would come in, and they said I would get like a free facial if I did, as they were using these like chocolate coffee products or whatever, and I was like, yeah, sure. And I really thought that them putting the stuff on my face and everything, but it was a little rushed, and I think maybe because it was a Facebook Live video, so I thought maybe it was because of all that I didn't get it. Because, it's really a lot more about the whole, like, soft sort of, like, at least with the videos, it's very manufactured with the videos, but in a good way. Meaning, like, people are very, like, oh, let me move that eyelash out of your way, or something like that. Nobody does that when you're really getting, like, your makeup done or a facial. They're talking a lot, and they're not as, like, soft and deliberate and things like that. So, that's why the videos tend to be, I think, a little bit more ASMR inducing as opposed to the real thing. Or maybe that's just me and I'm weird. Could be. Any other questions? I promise I won't take as long to answer as that. I'm just not really doing anything. I had a long week. But I'll be probably working again a little bit tomorrow. I have some Memorial Day emails to get out for clients, and I guess I technically should be doing it now, but I feel like working on, Friday night after 9 o'clock. I did enough today. But I was hoping to see some of my BFFs on here, but they're probably out doing stuff on a Friday night, as they should be. I think, does anybody have any Memorial Day or hashtag MDW weekend plans or barbecues, or what do people do? I don't even know if you're all from America. If you're not, that's totally cool. What do you I lived in Canada for a year, so I'm kind of an honorary Canadian. At least that's what I like to say anyway. I'm not really. But I lived there for a year, which is, longer than most people live in certain places. So this is going to be really funny to anyone if anybody saw my New Year's Eve / Christmas Eve video where I talked about what I got for Christmas. I had gotten like a soap or body wash thing from a friend of mine who's a personal trainer, and I usually film most of my recent videos where I am right now, which is in my bedroom, and I had this purple soap, and I put it on the windowsill after the video because I didn't know what I was gonna do with it, and it's literally in the same spot. It's right here. And I remember it from the video because I was playing with the tassel, because it is actually kind of cool. It's very pretty. I guess I should probably figure out what I'm gonna do with it, but it's got this fancy tassel, and it says that it's it's hand soap. I thought it was body wash for some reason. I could actually use some of that. It says it's warm vanilla and sandalwood, but it's literally been in my windowsill since I made that video New Year's Eve. So 4 or 5 months. Does anybody want some free hand soap? Because I don't really want it. It's gonna go right back where it was. And it's probably like ruined from the sun or something of that nature. I see that there's like actually people watching this. I don't know who you are, but I'd like to say hi to you if you would like to say hello. And or bombard me with questions. No? Yes. This is supposed to be lit, guys. It's supposed to be a lit ASMR party, and nobody's talking. I'm just gonna play with these bracelets until somebody says something. I don't even really like these that much. How do we feel about the Stanley Cup Finals? Do we have any thoughts on the Stanley Cup Finals? No? I kind of want the Predators to win because they've never won a Stanley Cup. Here's my thing. I love Phil Kessel. He's like my spirit animal. The man looks like he eats like 37 hot dogs before the game, and that's what I would do if I played hockey. I live vicariously through him, because he's like the John Daly of hockey. John Daly is also my spirit animal. These are people who I look up to in the sports world. I don't like Sidney Crosby though at all. I can't with him. But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really care. Now that the Maple Leafs aren't in, I couldn't really care less. But I do kind of like the whole underdog thing with the Predators. But if Phil Kessel wins another cup, I'm not going to be that upset. As long as he celebrates with a hot dog. One day I'll get some like fancy new equipment. I don't know. I'm really bad at editing, and by bad I mean I don't know how. So you would think for all of the, I mean for work, like for general work, I do social media and email marketing, which is obviously digital marketing related, but it's not. Video editing is like its own thing. I can do like low-key, like okay-ish graphic design, but video editing is not on the list of things that I know how to do. Somebody just asked if I ever traveled outside the US. I lived in Canada for a year. So yeah, I grew up and live in New Jersey, but I went to the University of Alberta in Edmonton for a year. I don't want to say it was random, but it was more of an adventure than it was actually studying. I went there just for 1 year, and I didn't live on campus. I actually lived in the city. I had an apartment downtown in Edmonton in kind of a shady-ish area. I got the full Edmonton experience. That's the only, all of my travel outside the US has all been to Canada. I've been to Edmonton, I've been to lots of places in Alberta because I lived in Alberta, so I've been to Jasper and Banff, which are like gorgeous ski towns in the mountains. I've been to Lake Louise, I've been to Montreal, I've been to Winnipeg, Saskatoon. I've never been to Ottawa. I've been to Toronto. I've yet to see. I saw the when the Maple Leafs come to play the Devils. I see them in New Jersey, but I haven't seen a game in Toronto yet. I'd like to. Other than that, though, no. I've never been to Europe or Mexico or anywhere else, just Canada. I plan to change that, but I've spent the past like 4 or 5 years working on my business, and things are, really going pretty well. As soon as they expand a little bit more, I'll be able to, like, time wise and financially, I'll be able to do some more traveling, some more extensive traveling, maybe around Europe, or wherever. I mean, where's everybody from? Anywhere fun? Don't say New Jersey, because that's not fun. You have to deal with, no, I won't go into that. I'll be nice. But yeah, no, I legitimately love to travel, but I actually was supposed to go to Vegas in a couple weeks, but I had to change it because of work stuff. I'll probably go in the fall. My dad is currently working out there with some casino stuff, and he told us we should all go out there, and I think some of my other family members might still go, and I'm not one of them. But with work, sometimes you have to do that. Yeah, I really do want to go to Europe, and I'm sure that I will. It's just a matter of, with, business-wise, it's just a couple of us. There's not, like, a big, massive staff or anything like that, so everything has to be handled by us, and I'm not really in a position right now, staff-wise, where I can leave for that amount of time and not handle things on my own. But I think that'll change. I'm expanding as quickly as I can. And the other thing about that is it's not always just a matter of finding the people. It's also sort of, getting to know them and making sure it's okay with leaving them with my stuff, because it can be a little scary to put things in the control of other people, especially when I've taken as long as I have to, build it up and whatnot. So whenever the time is right and the staff is in place and I trust them and everything, I'll definitely I'll be everywhere. Islands, and I want to go to Bora Bora. Those like huts on the water. I want to do that. Apparently now, though, they have them in places that are less far away than Bora Bora. Like, I think Bora Bora is like one of those crazy like 20-hour plane rides or something. But I think I've been reading that they have them in like Jamaica, places that are not a bazillion hours away. So I'll probably be more inclined to do that than, not a big fan of airplanes, but I will. I've been on a cross-country train trip. Well, it's like 3/4 the way across the country. I went on a train from Philadelphia to Montana, and I'm sure it's not for everyone, but I really, really had fun. It was, it left from Philadelphia, and it stopped briefly in Pittsburgh, and then we switched trains, and then it went all the way overnight, and then when we woke up in the morning at like 8 a.m., we were in Chicago. We got off and spent pretty much the entire day in Chicago. Got back on the train at like, I think it was maybe like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, so we were there from like 8 to 2, and during that time I saw as much as I could, because obviously the priority was getting back to the train on time, but I went to like Millennium Park and that big fountain that's on Married with Children, and that reflective bean thing, and some other places, and then got back on the train, and then went another like ridiculously long amount of time. I think it might have been like another 2 full days, all the way up, and then got off in Montana. which if you've never been to Montana, it's crazy. If you're from an area like me, where I'm really close to both New York and Philadelphia, I am used to there always being something around. Montana it's like literally out of a movie. There's nothing. It's like there could be hours and hours in between towns, and like the one guy that was on the train was literally taking the train like an hour just to get like food. And I was like, oh, we just get in our cars and drive 3 minutes. It was bizarre. I mean, and you look out the window of the train and there's just nothing. But like a river, like a little lake here and there. And then when we got off the train in Montana, we had rented a car and drove up to Edmonton. And that was, I think, like maybe 7 hours. So that was an insane amount of traveling. It was like 4 days on the train and then 7 hours up to Edmonton. And I thought it was fun. I would do it again. But I'm sure it's not for everyone, because it's kind of like, it's very dull and like can't really walk around that much, and I just imagine that there'd be people that would be like mega over it, or like claustrophobic, or need to like get out and run around or something. And I packed efficiently. I had a laptop with movies on it and coloring books and snacks and all kinds of stuff, so I couldn't care. I was happy, and the sights are really cool. I mean, I got to see Chicago and Pittsburgh, and some of the places I slept through, like just because it was overnight, and I think I slept through like Minneapolis or something. But yeah, I got to see a bunch of places on the way, which I just thought was, being that you're on the ground and not like in the sky, you actually get to see the stuff as you go by. And they have like observation cars where you can, like, this seats turn and you can see out. I thought it was fun. But actually, I was looking at the timer. It looks like I've been doing this for like an hour, so I think it's time to maybe wrap it up. But hopefully everybody had fun, and thanks for the questions, and I will make another manufactured video soon, I promise.